What's up, my dudes? Blackout will not kill PUBG. So, before I have a literal explosion in the comment section down below, let me explain to you right here. This video is not me, hating on Blackout or saying that you can't like it or it's going to be terrible. That's not what it is at all. If you want to play Blackout, that's totally fine. I'm going to play it. I'm going to enjoy it. I think it's a cool game. It's a cool design. But that's not what this video is about. I don't want people to get that misconstrued and think that I'm like a Blackout hater and I'm like just trying to, suppress that game's effect on the community or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to get at is I feel like a lot of people that say that's going to kill PUBG, they're a little bit... they're like going at these weird angles, and I think it just doesn't make as much sense as what they're really saying when you look at it deeper. So that's what I want to get in here and try to explain. So you've seen the metric fuckload train of people that have gotten on this, ooh, that's gonna kill PUBG. Oh no, that's gonna kill PUBG. No, this over here is gonna kill PUBG, right? It seems like everyone loves to say that now. For some reason, I don't know why they like to do that, but everyone's on that, oh, everything else is gonna kill PUBG, and yet PUBG, millions of people are still playing it. So there's a lot of, some people have a lot of animosity towards this game right here just simply because of all of its weird little buggy flaws and stuff like that. But what I wanted to talk about specifically, though, is all these people that are saying, oh, that's going to kill PUBG. Well, they said, oh, Fortnite's going to kill PUBG, and if Fortnite killed PUBG, then you could say Fortnite killed everything. So I don't really know if you can make that comparison, but I see a lot of these people out there saying, they played the beta of Blackout, now it's actually finally out, and they're all saying, oh, it's going to kill PUBG, oh no, oh, PUBG's so dead. And what's weird about it is a lot of them seem to be, the first thing they want to compare it to is the console version of PUBG, which is absolutely retarded. Don't ever compare Blackout to the console version of PUBG. If you do that, you're a fool. You don't understand games. Like, why would you compare it to PUBG on console? PUBG should have never even been released on console. It's not a console game. It's a PC shooter. Okay, so when you're going to compare Blackout to something, you need to compare it to the PC version of PUBG only, because that is the main version of PUBG. That's where all the hardcore people are on PUBG. Everyone that's really playing PUBG, they're playing it on PC, dog. So cut that bullshit out where you're comparing Blackout to PUBG on consoles. That's stupid. Like, that's just a stupid way to look at it. So another big thing to this whole thing is I don't even really think you can compare Blackout to PUBG. I don't think you can do it. It's kind of like comparing, PUBG to Fortnite. They're so different games. Like, PUBG is completely different from Blackout. Blackout is completely different from Fortnite. They're all different games. So I don't know where this sort of direct comparison is coming from, right? Like, as if people are just going to want to only play Blackout and totally leave PUBG. I don't really understand that, because they're totally different. Like, Blackout is Call of Duty on Battle Royale, and Call of Duty is nothing like PUBG. It's not even close. They're not even the same kind of game. The gun physics are night and day difference on both of those games. So, yeah, they're both Battle Royale, but it's silly. It's like comparing PUBG to Fortnite. They're totally different games. So, I just don't see why people jump to this conclusion of thinking that, everyone has to go to this new Battle Royale and leave this old one. Or, they act like you can't play multiple Battle Royales. I don't know why they do that. It's very weird. And not to mention the fact that Blackout is brand new, people. Okay? Let's get a year down the line of playing Blackout on the same exact map, and then we can start kind of comparing things here. PUBG's been out for how long now? A year or two? And Blackout is just now coming out, so it's going to be fresh. People are going to be, neck deep in that honeymoon stage on that shit, man. It's going to seem fresh, new, interesting, cool, different, Yeah. But you got to keep it in perspective, man. You can't compare something that's brand spanking new to something that's been out for a certain amount of time, right? It's just, I don't think it's that fair of a comparison. But my biggest point, though, is they're just different. They're just different games, man. Like, Call of Duty is way more of a fast-paced game. I saw some people talking about saying that Blackout is a bit more, like when you get on the four-wheeler, you can go maximum speed on that game and never crash the four-wheeler in it, and certain stuff like that. And like people want to try to shit on the physics of the vehicles in PUBG and stuff like that, and just the overall physics of PUBG. And listen, I understand PUBG definitely has some, like, flaws, okay? Everybody and their grandmother knows that horse shit where you're standing behind a tree and you still die, or you run around a wall and you still die, right? That should not be a thing in PUBG whatsoever. I agree with you. But listen to me. There's a certain aspect, there's a certain charm and characteristic of the way PUBG plays that keeps everybody playing it. There's something to it. I don't know if it's the little bit of a jankiness feeling. Certain games can almost get so smooth and so, like, fluent that it doesn't have that realistic feel to it. It doesn't have that realistic combat physics type of feel to it. And that's what I'm saying. They're two different games. One of them's more of trying to be like a fluent, unrealistic, not as unrealistic as Fortnite, obviously, but it's more of an arcade shooter, right? Everyone knows Call of Duty for that. It's an arcade shooter. But PUBG is trying to be more realistic, quite a bit more gun recoil, got quite a bit of weapon sway, all that realistic stuff going on. You got a lot of different aspects to PUBG that are not in Blackout at all. And I feel like the reason why a lot of people play PUBG is for those reasons. Do you understand? It's not like Blackout has certain things that, like, is better than PUBG at what PUBG does well. Are you following me there? Like, PUBG, the reason why people play it is because of that physics feeling, because of that high skill gap, weapon shooting, all of that kind of stuff to it. That's why people play it. And Blackout just doesn't have that. That's not the kind of game that it is. So I just don't feel like, Blackout is going to totally kill PUBG like a lot of people keep saying, oh, that's going to kill PUBG. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like, straight up, I'm not saying you can't enjoy Blackout. I'm going to be playing it. It's going to be a crap load of fun, man. I'm going to have a lot of fun on it. But it's a different experience. I'm still going to have my fun on PUBG, because PUBG still gives me something that no other Battle Royale gives me. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not a replacement for PUBG like some people seem to be making it out to be. You're probably going to have a spike of people that are going to go play Blackout at the beginning, but like I'm saying, let's get a year down the line when then PUBG gets their snow map out and more improvements and more stuff going on, and then we can start, doing the comparing side-by-side type of vibe and see how many people still playing this and playing that, right? Yeah, they're similar in the sense of, like, they are combat shooters, but I think when it comes to all the Battle Royale games, you can come a lot closer to comparing Blackout to Battlefield's Battle Royale than you can Blackout to, like, PUBG or Fortnite. Those are three totally different games right there. And who knows, maybe the Battlefield Battle Royale game will be totally different too, but I think those are more of a comparable realm, right? Like Fortnite, you can't even play that game in first person only. There's, like, none of that iron sight aiming and all that kind of stuff going on. And obviously super cartoony, very little blood, a lot of silly weapons to it. And, you got PUBG, which is the complete polar opposite of that. Super realistic weapons, realistic recoil, kick, fairly realistic map design. Graphically, it's way more on a realistic type of vibe to it, even though some people can say PUBG's graphics are a little weird, and I can understand that, but they're obviously going for more of a real feel, whereas Blackout is Call of Duty in Battle Royale with weapon drop in it. and maybe, you know, obviously got a little bit more health than normal, because this Black Ops 4 is got a little bit more health on it to try to combat that, you know, where you don't just insta-die like you do in every other Call of Duty, because that would be kind of ridiculous in a Battle Royale, but still, it's a Call of Duty in Battle Royale, which is not like PUBG, man. And a lot of people that seem to have these certain opinions, not all of them, but a lot of them, I feel like they might have played PUBG and got a bad taste in their mouth, or, you know, whatever, they played it way back in the day. Like, the modern day PUBG is not that bad on all those little, you know, little weird, like, you're obviously going to have some janky stuff go on in PUBG. I'm not trying to defend PUBG in that sense, but I'm just saying this game has improved massively. It's not like you just, every time you die, it's because you got hit around a corner or whatever. That's not how it is in PUBG anymore, man. They've improved a lot of aspects to the game. So, and I feel like a lot of people that are out here giving this opinion, it's like they're thinking of the old PUBG, they're thinking of the day one PUBG, or, you know, something like that, and it's just simply not like that anymore. But either way, I just wanted to get on here and talk about this, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, it's gonna kill PUBG. No, it's not, motherfucker, because the reason why people play PUBG is because they love PUBG physics. They love the way that gun feels. They love that certain... And I don't know what it is that causes this, but PUBG has this realistic aspect to where, like, you know how in real life when you're shooting a gun, especially if you're moving or running or anything like that, and you're aiming in a certain direction, a lot of times that bullet is not going to hit directly. I'm not talking about bullet drop. You know, it could be close up. I'm just saying a lot of times that bullet does not hit directly where you're shooting, right? And I've never found a game that can capture that as good as PUBG. In all of my experience with all types of games, Battlefield, Call of Duty, all that, and I know a lot of Call of Duty, all the old school Call of Duties are not the projectile, you know, they're more of whatever they call that, the laser, or it's like, you know, it's not actually a projectile bullet, English. So I'm not really saying to that, but I'm just saying other projectile bullet games and stuff, there's something about PUBG, man. It just feels like you're shooting a real gun. It's a real combat type of scenario. I'm pretty sure it's based off of Arma. Is it not? Is it not like based off an Arma mod or something like that? Which is meant to be like a, you know, basically an army simulator. So that's what I'm trying to get at is, sure, you could have some people that are playing PUBG right now that are just playing it just because it's a really popular battle royale. And now that Blackout's out, they're going to go play that because they're not really into PUBG like that. But I'm telling you, the people that love PUBG for PUBG and they're really into this game, the Blackout is not the replacement for it. It's not like it's going to, you know, oh, now we're going to come over here and play this one map on Blackout and then never go back to PUBG. It's just not like that. It's not like that. I see a lot of those YouTubers saying stuff like that. Drifter was a big one that was saying that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's quite a few other ones. You know, it's just all comes down to what do you like? What kind of game do you like? You know, and everybody's going to be different on that aspect, and that's okay. You know, if you don't like a realistic vehicle, I mean, it's not, there's a certain amount of realistic physics, certain amount of janky physics to the vehicles in this game, but and they've fixed a lot of that with updates and stuff, but what I'm trying to get at is, it's not like a, you know, you're on some super unrealistic vehicle that you can just drive wide open and never crash it. Like, there's a certain crash and roll physics system to this game, whereas Call of Duty is just not like that. So it's just totally different. It's just a totally different game, and that's really all it comes down to. That's why I personally don't believe Blackout will kill PUBG. The only way to kill PUBG is you're going to have another either Battle Royale games just go to shit, period, and I feel like PUBG would come up with a different game mode, and then people would play that on PUBG, but just the physics of the movement, and I know there's certain things to PUBG that are ass, I understand, but I'm just saying, the realistic feeling of the guns, it's just hard to replace that. That aspect alone is hard to replace, that skill gap feeling of PUBG. You know, it's hard to replace it. I don't know any other way to explain it. So that's what I'm saying. And until you come out with basically a a game that is realistic like PUBG, but it plays smoother, you know, and everything's super smooth, and there's multiple maps and tons of guns and all kinds of crazy stuff, and you don't have that desync where they shoot you behind a tree, but yet the physics are realistic like PUBG, or, you know, almost to PUBG. Until that sort of game comes out, you're not going to kill PUBG. It's not going to happen. Stop saying it's going to happen. It ain't going to kill PUBG, man. It's just not going to do it. I know a lot of people are frustrated as hell with this game over the lack of stuff that's been done to it, but, dog, like, you just got to look at it in more of a realistic standpoint, man. Like, Blackout's going to be fun when it first comes out, okay? And I'm not trying to rain on your parade if you're excited about Blackout. I'm excited about it too. I want that game to be fun. I want it to be exciting. But it's one of those things, I feel like you can enjoy PUBG for what it is, then you can come over here and enjoy Blackout for what it is, then you can go enjoy Fortnite for what it is. And it's not like either one of them has to overtake the other one. I just don't feel like it's like that. But I do feel like there is a slight potential of, you know, certain people playing the Battlefield Battle Royale over the Blackout, or playing Blackout over the Battlefield Battle Royale. One of the two. You know, those are very, very close in comparison when it comes to that, but not to PUBG and Fortnite. They're just not the same. So either way, man, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'm sure you will anyways, but appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.